What's up? I'm Owen O'Malley and you're watching GearWire.com, and this is the Marshall Haze 40. The Haze series was introduced last summer, and they are an all-tube design. There's a tube preamp, 12 AX7 tubes in the pre, and 2 EL34s in the power section. So it is an all-tube combo amp, 40 watts, pushing a single 12-inch Celestion marquee speaker, specially designed for the Haze series. The Haze amps also incorporate a digital effects section. You've got a handful of digital effects you can choose from to sort of sweeten your sound a little bit, including reverb. And when those effects are off, they are true bypass. So when you're not engaging the digital effects section, this is a fully valve or tube amp. It is a 2-channel amp, so we do have these clean tones. And there's also overdrive tones. Now there's boost controls on both the channels. Actually, let's just take a closer look at the control panel here. Right now we're on the normal channel, as you can see. Over here, actually, let's just take a quick look. These are our channel volumes, and we've got a master EQ section for both channels, and our digital effects section is over there. We will get back to that in a second. Right now, we're just on the normal channel. Normal just has a volume control in addition to the EQ. Although there is also a boost selectable on both channels, and on the normal channel there is a bright switch. Now let's just listen to our normal channel. Now you can hear this channel is, let's see, this is about 2/3 of the way up on a 40-watt amp. And it's loud, but it's definitely breaking up already. If I've got the volume completely open on my guitar, this is what it sounds like. Which is a great sound, but if you want something a little more clean, you know, that's sort of also loud, you need to dial back the volume on your guitar. You're not going to get super pristine, like jazz chorus clean out of this thing. But you're going to get some really nice chimey clean tones, especially when you engage the bright control. Now I've got both pickups selected on this telly. Now let's engage the bright control. So if you want to, cut through, just kick on that bright control and well, you'll definitely cut through any dense mix. And now your boost just gives you a little bit of added boost if you want to go into sort of a medium gain solo. So here's without the boost and the volume all the way up on the guitar. Let's hear that again. So without the boost, with the boost. All right, let's move over to the overdrive channel. Now when we move to overdrive, you see we've got a separate gain and volume control. Our gain right now is cranked. And our volume is up about, a little more than 2/3 of the way. There is also a separate boost on the overdrive channel, but before we engage that, here's the neck pickup soloed and the volume cranked on this Telecaster. now let's engage the boost control. Let's switch to the bridge pickup just to hear what that sounds like with basically this amp in its sort of most saturated. So you can get quite a bit of gain out of this guy. Let's move over to the effects section here. Okay, now let's listen to some of the effects here. First, let's engage the reverb, which you can kind of have on all the time. Now listen when I switch this on. You hear that little click? Yeah, that's it switching the digital effects circuit into the path. That's the true bypass switching right there. So now here's our reverb effect. It's right about halfway. If we turn it up all the way, okay, so pretty decent effect. You can't edit any of the parameters except that intensity there. Let's turn it back off. Let's bring in our first effect here, which is a delay. Now you'll notice that there's a little color coding thing on the top panel here. Green is the delay. And you've got two functions, you control over two parameters of delay. The adjust knob is the delay time. And your effect depth is pretty much your feedback. Really what effect depth is, it's not feedback, it's the volume of the first repeat. So if you have effect depth all the way down, if you turn it all the way down, you turn the effect off. It's pretty much just it's almost like a wet-dry mix. So you don't really have a lot of control over the delay, but it is a pretty decent sounding delay. Let's go to the next effect. Next effect is it's a vibe effect. It's basically like a Leslie simulator. So that's the Leslie effect, and you've got controls over, now adjust here is your rate. And then your depth is your effects depth. That's basically the most intense that it gets, depth-wise. All right, now that's when the effect is orange, it's your vibe effect. Now if we go to red, that is a chorus effect. So that's a pretty decent vintage sounding chorus effect. Again, you've got depth is your intensity, and then adjust is your rate. Now, when you switch between channels, the channels will sort of store what effects you have selected. So now if I switch over to overdrive, I don't have any effects selected. Let me switch back to the clean channel and we'll choose our delay effect. Okay, now let's switch over to the boost channel, and I'll choose my chorus effect. Now if I switch back to clean, I've still got my delay effect selected. So even with the, it's a 2-button foot switch that is included. Even with just channel switching, you can sort of get some presets. There'll be one preset for each channel, and I think there's also an additional preset when you engage the boost on the dirty channel. And again, when you want to just sort of get rid of all the effects, make sure you click it here, and you hear that little click, and that is the true bypass engaging. And now, once again, we just have a simple all-tube Marshall amp. All right, so here's the back panel here. We've got our foot switch input all the way over on the right. This guy does come with a 2-function foot switch. It controls channel switching and the effects bypass. You can get an optional 4-foot switch, or rather a 4-function foot switch for this guy to expand your control options. There is an effects loop. You can see it's mono. You've got a send and return. So you can run this amp in true all-valve mode with an effects loop in here, sort of that, without using the digital effects on board. And you can turn that on and off. We got 2 speaker outputs. You can get an extension cabinet for this guy. They do design another 112 extension cabinet. And there's your emulated line out for silent recording. And that's about it. So that is the Marshall Haze 40. It retails for about $700. So, for a 40-watt amp, all-tube Marshall, pretty good price. It definitely gets loud enough for practice, for gigging. Not maybe as much headroom as you'd like if you'd like to play clean a lot, but a great blues amp, a great classic rock amp, great heavy rock amp, psychedelic rock amp, lots of rock. So if you like rock, you'll enjoy the Marshall Haze 40. Thanks for watching GearWire.com. I'm Owen O'Malley. Goodbye.